it is Miss Bazzle. I'm back again with another video. Well, today we are going to create blackout poems. Blackout poetry has been very popular, where you read a text or you read a story. You can read anything. You can create blackout poetry from a dictionary page. So the story that I'm going to use is Thank You, Ma'am. It is a story that my students and I read in class, and the gist of the story is that a young boy tries to steal an older woman's purse because he wants to buy some blue suede shoes, but the tables are turned when she puts him in a headlock. She ends up giving him a life lesson and caring for him like he's her son, and she takes him home. And so it's a nice story with a nice twist and a big lesson to be learned. And so based on the story, in order to create blackout poetry, I'm going to start with a theme. And the theme that I'm going to use for this story, or the message, what does the author want the reader to learn? Typically most kids say, oh, don't steal, or stealing won't get you anywhere in life, blah, 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 all the typical things. But I look at it as outside of the ordinary, because I'm far from ordinary, that sometimes you have strangers who will treat you better than your family. And so that's the theme, the bigger picture that I'm going to go with for my blackout poetry piece. So I'm going to choose different words throughout the story to create a poem that has a different meaning than the story, but it kind of still goes. Let's see how it turns out. And then after you select the words, you circle the words, and then you black out all the other words that are not in your poem, and you can create an image, or you can just use a black marker and just cross out the lines or the words that you're not going to use. So I don't know, let's take a look. Let's see what I create. Now that I've gathered my theme and I know what I want to write about, so I'm going to search for words that I can use to make a poem based upon my theme. The story or your poem does not need to connect to the story that you're using. And once I have all my words selected, I will darken them in with a marker, and then I will then create an image on top of the poem, being careful not to cover up any of the words selected for the poem. You can be as creative as you like. I actually used Pinterest, and I was inspired by a blackout poem image that I saw on Pinterest, and I decided to create one with my own little design to it. So I want you to therefore try creating a poem with the words on a page. And once again, it does not need to go with the story. And although my blackout poetry is not completely done, this is my final, well, not my final, but this is what I have so far. I may cut her out and put her on some construction paper. Well, I will read the poem, what I have so far. A woman with a large purse had everything in it but hammer and nails. And my theme is that sometimes strangers treat you better than family. Had everything in it but hammer and nails. Walking alone, a boy tried to snatch her purse. He had hope. His teeth rattled, ashamed, gripped by a lie. Time stopped, watching. If I run, I won't. I'm sorry, whispered. Ain't got nobody. Evening starting. frightened. You ought to be my son. I would teach you. Least I can do right now. Are you hungry? So that's what I could extrapolate from my Blackout poem. Leave your opinion in the comment section below. Don't be mean.